All right, so this week, 21 central banks are scheduled to meet and do absolutely nothing. But the next time they meet, everyone's anticipating a bunch of rate hikes. You know, there's even chatter in America that the Federal Reserve should be hiking rates because of higher oil prices. I want to bring now Tressis chief economist Daniel Lacalle. And Daniel, I've been reading that the best way for the Fed to really look at oil and the spike in oil is what they call a look through. And there have been articles written about it. I've been reading white papers on it. And I don't know where all the hand wringing is coming from.
I completely agree. That makes absolutely no sense for the Fed to hike rates or keep rates with the excuse of an oil shock, because we know that the oil shock is temporary. We also know what happens afterwards, that the geopolitical risk premium rapidly comes down. And if they decide to hike rates or keep rates elevated, what they are going to do is actually to damage the part of the economy that should be driving stronger growth right now. So, which is small and medium enterprises. So I think that it makes absolutely no sense for anybody to think these days about hiking rates just because of energy.
So last week, Hartnett over at Bank of America reminded everyone that in 2008, oil was at 140 and the ECB actually hiked rates. 74 days later, of course, Lehman collapsed. And, there's talk of ECB hiking rates, and you just got to wonder, are any of these central bank members, or why would the members, particularly on the Fed, be hawkish right now or trying to defend their hawkish stance?
There's no reason to defend any hawkish stance. Hiking rates into an energy shock is as dumb as it was to cut rates in a lockdown. It makes no sense whatsoever. Hiking rates because of an energy shock is exceedingly damaging for the economy. And what you just showed is that it creates a second effect that is much more negative for the overall economy. And think about this: the European Union went from a 2008 period in which immediately the oil price went down quite significantly, and the ripple effects, the negative ripple effects on the economy of the European Union lasted until 2012. So we need to be very aware of the fact that this is a temporary factor.
I got to get your thoughts on the private debt issue here in this country.
Well, the first thing that we need to understand about private debt is that it is a concern, but it is not a crisis risk. I think that is the most important factor. It is a concern because a lot of private equity firms have been lending to small firms that have found themselves in a much more difficult situation than they anticipated. But if we look at the overall default rate of these loans, we're talking about 5%, 6%, which is certainly very, very far away from a risk crisis. What's more important is that if with all this environment we get a rate hike, then what it is going to generate is a much more difficult environment for credit, a credit crunch. That is the risk. The risk is not a crisis. The risk is that it generates a credit crunch and that the access of credit to small and medium enterprises, to businesses that have done nothing wrong, may be limited. Private equity may be suffering a bit from this environment, but strong and prudent private equity will strengthen.
I hope so, man. Hey, got less than a minute to go. I want to talk about Wednesday. There's one report says Powell's going to warn of stagflation. That sounds maybe like it could be politically motivated. You also recently wrote that unemployment in this country would be 4.1%. if the Fed had cut last year. So what would you like to see on Wednesday?
I would like to see the Fed be data dependent. And the only risk of stagflation would come if the Fed decides to keep or hike rates, and at the same time, the government decided to massively increase federal spending and therefore money printing. And that is not a risk right now. So the biggest risk is on the Fed that is not fulfilling its mandate, because its mandate is dual. It's about inflation and it's about jobs, and their own papers, their own messages have shown that the level of employment would have been much stronger, because maintaining rates 100 basis points above the neutral level destroys 1 million jobs in small and medium enterprises. Therefore, what I hope that he does is, instead of warning of stagflation, warn of the risks of keeping elevated rates for no reason.
Daniel, thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. Thank you very much.